Good morning, Bitcoiners, and welcome back to the Bitcoin Street Journal podcast, your top source for hard-hitting Bitcoin news, sound money satire, and the signal that cuts through fiat noise. I'm your host, Anna, and today we've got a wild ride of headlines that proves one thing loud and clear. Bitcoin is the great equalizer. As Michael Saylor said, it's very rare that you find a technology that solves every rich person's problem and every poor person's problem simultaneously. This episode is powered by Fountain.fm, where you can share, discover, and support over 4 million podcasts and emerging artists, powered by Bitcoin and Nostrar. Let's begin with a Bitcoin price check. As of this broadcast, Bitcoin is trading at around $110,400, with market dominance holding at 54.2%, just $4,600 away from a massive milestone. If we break 115K, an estimated $8.5 billion worth of short positions are set to be liquidated. This would be one of the largest short squeezes in Bitcoin history. MicroStrategy buys the dip again. In breaking news, MicroStrategy, which we affectionately call Strategy, has acquired another 4,020 Bitcoin for $427 million. That boosts their holdings to 580,250 Bitcoin, about 2.7% of the total supply. Michael Saylor, unfazed by price volatility, continues to deploy capital with laser-eyed conviction. And he's not done. In his own words, when Bitcoin hits 1 million a coin, I'll buy $1 billion worth in a day. Meanwhile, other corporations are getting in on the act. NYSE-listed DDC Enterprise from Hong Kong just bought 21 Bitcoin for $2.28 million as part of a larger plan to acquire 5,000 BTC. Remix Point has also announced a plan to purchase another $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Florida to become a Bitcoin tax haven. Florida is taking a bold step. A new proposal would eliminate capital gains taxes on Bitcoin. If passed, this would make Florida the first U.S. state to offer this type of tax relief. In short, Florida is making a bid to become America's Bitcoin state. Speaking of government, former UK Prime Minister Liz Truss recently said, Bitcoin takes power away from the government. That's a statement you never would have heard from legacy leaders a decade ago. The Overton window is shifting. Standard Chartered predicts 500,000 Bitcoin by 2028. Standard Chartered Bank has released a forecast projecting Bitcoin to hit $200,000 in 2025, $300,000 in 2026, $400,000 in 2027, and $500,000 by 2028. Wall Street is no longer laughing. They're calculating. Meanwhile, Rosenblatt Securities echoed the sentiment, saying Bitcoin may be at new highs, but there's still much more upside to come. Macro tailwinds and short squeeze loom. U.S. liquidity conditions have swung from tightening to ultra loose within just 4 weeks. This is the type of macro environment where Bitcoin thrives, and with $8.5 billion in shorts lined up to get wrecked at 115,000, the bulls are licking their chops. Metaplanet in Japan remains the most intriguing corporate Bitcoin story in Asia. Dylan LeClaire reports they now hold such a high Bitcoin-to-debt ratio that they're over-collateralized even if BTC fell to $2,000. That's capital efficiency the fiat world can't touch. Also, Japan just lost its title as the world's top creditor nation for the first time in 34 years. That's a warning sign for fiat maximalists everywhere. Bitcoin conference starts tomorrow. The world's largest Bitcoin conference kicks off tomorrow, and the timing couldn't be better. Post-halving optimism is building, ETF inflows are booming, price action is strong, institutional momentum is swelling. Bitcoin dominance is holding above 54%, but whispers of alt season are starting to circulate. Top Solana tokens and meme coins are up. Ethereum is quietly rallying, but the signal remains Bitcoin. Quick hits and rapid fire round. Jamie Dimon now says, I defend your right to buy Bitcoin. That's not an endorsement, that's a concession. Solana meme coins are pumping on speculation of a Nickelodeon partnership. Can't make this up. Florida proposes no capital gains tax on Bitcoin, Surf, Sun, and Sets. Trump media denies raising $3 billion to buy Bitcoin, but rumors persist. Elon Musk's X-Money enters beta. Nostra vibes, but centralized. Thailand lets tourists spend crypto via credit card. Meanwhile, the U.S. still hasn't passed a stablecoin bill. Fear and greed index remains in extreme greed. Short-term holders are showing signs of taking profits, but long-term holders are stacking more than ever. LTH accumulation is at its highest rate since September 2024. Value for value call to action. This show is powered by the value for value model. If you learned something today, if this signal helped you understand the world a little clearer, please consider supporting this show through fountain.fm or by sending a zap on Nostr. Fountain.fm makes it easy to listen, clip, and boost your favorite shows. No fiat middlemen, just direct support from plebs to producers. Pleb shoutout. Today's pleb shoutout goes to the legendary Nostr user at BTC Proof, who's been tracking ETF flows like a hawk and posting live Bitcoin on-chain stats that rival Glassnode. You're a signal amplifier, and we appreciate you. Closing thought. To everyone who heard that you can't eat Bitcoin, I have this to say. You can't eat your 401k either, but you can buy food with Bitcoin. The FUD is getting more ridiculous because we're winning. Everything we talked about today is posted over at thebitcoinstreetjournal.com. That's where you'll find articles, charts, memes, and more. And of course, you can dive deeper into each topic by following us on Nostr Signup or log in via the top link on the homepage. Outro. Thanks for tuning in to the Bitcoin Street Journal podcast. Catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rss.com, and all the places you get your signal. If you found value in this show, like, share, subscribe, and zap it forward. Big thanks to our behind-the-scenes crew keeping this podcast sharp, fast, and full of firepower. I'm Anna, and until next time, see you on the next block.